Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Thursday, June the 9th. Please note the risk disclosure. This room is for educational purposes and information only. It is not to be considered financial advice. The results presented are hypothetical and not necessarily typical. You should trade with risk capital only, capital you can afford to do without. And the full risk disclosure is at netpixtrading.com/risk disclosure. And with that out of the way, good morning to you, Miles. Good morning, Steve. Please do say hello. That's the only way I know who's in the room. And we got a couple of minutes before market open. We have a get in sync possibility on the YM at 32.96. Another minute to go. Crude and unleaded both done this morning. We'll take a look at those in a few minutes. Soybeans doesn't have a get in sync possibility. That trade went to target one already, the early trade. So no get in sync there. We had an early trade on the pound Aussie that ended up being a full stop out and waiting for another setup there. And the market is just about to open. Market is open, and okay, the short went too far too fast, so we're looking for a new setup. Soybeans picked up a setup right at, and that went too far too fast again. So looking for a new trade there as well. The long trade at 91 on 6 seconds on the bar should definitely be in that. YM sitting down at session lows, just missing money management, getting to 315 with money management at 815, getting money management at 816. And looks like, yep, full stop out on the YM. And the Russell, that likely spiked up and then back to very likely a spike, although possibly a valid trade. You'll have to look at that one a bit more closely. And there's a new long setup on soybeans. Plenty of time to get in that. Six seconds on the short, probably not tradable, but we are in the long now. And a new long on the YM triggers in at 764. And now a new short That's at 29, so 27 is our stop and reverse adjust. Still in the long. And now in the short from 27. Pound Aussie on a strong up note. And we just missed money management on the short. Now back to a long at 43. And there is money management. There's target one. Actually, yeah, 44 would. So actually 46 would be our entry on that. Target 2, stop at 779. So this is turning into a very successful trade. Unfortunately, we got hung up in some noise to start with. 1, 2, 3 losses. $8.09 for the YM stop. Soybeans hitting target 1. Stop at 44.75. And the YM stopping out at 8.29 from 746. So we get 83 ticks on the trailer and a 36 tick target for 119 ticks on that trade. Good morning to you, Gabriel. Soybeans stopped to 1746.75, and we have achieved target 2. And a new long on the YM, 843 it appears, 844. This entry on the prior long was 842, so that key level adjusts to 44, and stop and reverse adjusts to 44, and key level adjusts since it's a stop to 46. Is why our entry was at 46. So now we have an entry at 44, which we don't key level because we're not already in a trade. So minor key level not taken around the 5s unless it's on the 5 on the YM. And good morning, Pamela. And YM testing the 50. Looks like it's kind of stuck in between the 50 and the 200 right now. So seeing which way it's going to break. challenging our stop a couple of times there. And I believe that just hit our stop. Yep. Just barely stopped us out at 7.99, and they down again. Need a couple of up bars to get a set of exhaustion dots to come back down. Okay, YM's flat. Looks like soybeans stopped out at 1747.75. So giving us two targets of 14 and 22 ticks. 9 points at $50 a point. Plus entry was at 1744 even to 47.75. We get another 3 3/4 points. So that's another 187.50. So almost $650 on that trade, $637.50. Actually, more than that, because that's two positions coming off of the 3 3/4. So that is 7.5. So 825 on that trade. And that's going to be POQ. YM short looks like 784. Yeah. This is trade number 6. And a stop and reverse. And it does for it to stop us out at 83. I believe, yeah, 81 is the entry, so 83. And the YM is done. And not, unfortunately, a tough session this morning on the YM. Taking a look at crude, the Russell not really giving us much in the way of trades. We had that possible trade would have done nicely. Then we get a short that we definitely get into. Get to target 2, so it's a break even. And that's all that we've had so far this morning. Take a look at the MNQ. 8:34 exchange time start. 9:34 on my chart. Too far for the long. No trigger on the short. The next long. Lots of time to get into that one. That gets you a target 2 if you're using that, and a few ticks on the trailer. Short trade I would expect is that's 1 second. 5 seconds back up to the stop. So that's not tradable. The short's not tradable, certainly. And the long, Again, not tradable, doesn't look like. And finally, short, we get a nice wick. That'll put us into the trade with plenty of time. Target one, but we need to get our 44 ticks to get. And we just barely got to our break-even money management, and one tick on the, so break-even short. And then a new short, plenty of time to get into that one. That one goes to a full stop, unfortunately. Five seconds on that bar. And then we have another wick up here. So that's definitely a valid trade. Targets 2 and 3. Targets 2, not quite target 3. And another partial. And the long gives us a chance to, definitely gives us a chance to get into that. Hits target 1, and we get another break even. And we go have a short. It looks like about 10 seconds to target 1, but it looks like those probably went a little too fast to do anything with, as we were just almost to target 1 in 5 seconds. So that one I would say is too fast to trade. Lots of wicks on this long, and it stops and reverses. Most likely a full stop out. And the short most likely, well, it hit target 1, but we didn't get money management until out here. We did get it. And so that one I would say is likely too far too fast. So we took a full stop on the long, get another long. That's a full stop also, possibly avoidable, depending on how fast it spiked up and down. Okay, definitely had a chance to get into this short trade. Makes money management and break even. So a lot of break even trades, a few losses, a couple of partial winners, not anything particularly strong on the MNQ. Lots of trades. All right, going back to crude oil, we had this trade at 3 minutes before our start time, the yellow short. That at our 3 seconds after our start time was below the entry and never came back to it before hitting money management. So that trade is not tradable. Would not be a get in sync. No trigger on the long. When we come to an SMA, trade off the 20 SMA from right here, entry at 121.39, and that gives us quick target 1 and target 2. 18 and 28 ticks, 46 on the day. And if you're trailing, trailed all the way out to trailed right to target 3, which was 38 ticks. So that's a one and done on the full crude. Micro crude, and I didn't look at, one thing I didn't look at today was the volume on the YM, and I should have. Micro crude here, I didn't look at that on this chart. Okay, here's our start time. Oh, no, let's see. Back up a little. Okay, the get in sync possibility, this trade right here. I'll go ahead and same situation. 4 seconds after start time, closed below and kept on going to money management. So that trade was avoidable. So the next trade, you got a 10-second bar, but you definitely get a chance to get in back into it. So definitely in that trade, the long, it would be a stop and reverse, would be at 66 with stop and reverse and key level adjustment. So that stays short. And also a big win there. Targets of 14 and 23, 37 ticks. And our trailer all the way down to 120.96 from the entry at 121.49. So 53 ticks on the trailer if you trail that one. And another one and done session. Unleaded a little bit different. Take a look at what it did. Unleaded picks up. This trade, short trade sets up 48 seconds before our start time and meanders about all through there. Plenty of time, lots of time to get into it. It even spikes down at 48 seconds in. So definitely in that trade, and it takes a full stop out for a 54 tick loss, total of 108 on 2 positions. No long trade, and then we come back with the short. Excuse me. Entry at 2772. That gives us a 50 tick target. And what did I say? That was a 108 tick loss, so we're down 58. And we have an entry. The entry was at 2772. We trail all the way down to 2671. So 101 ticks on the trailer, and that gets us positive on 2 trades. POQ. All right, we have a long or short trade on the pound Aussie. Oh, I need to switch. No, okay. Oh, I know what's going on. All right, we have a short trade at 7559 just triggered in. We'll see if that can get through. That was recent MNQ. We had all of our trades there that we could run. And take a look back here on the Russell. Possibly that's an 8-second bar. May have had a chance to get into that, may not. May or may not have been tradable. The short is all likelihood. Oops. Yeah, in all likelihood that that one 3-3. Yeah, that one came. This wick here came back and would definitely have. Well, no, that wouldn't have put us in. Yeah, we had lots of time to get into that though. 17 seconds to get in it, so it definitely in that trade for a full loss. And then goes back on the long side, 6 seconds on the bar, so most likely able to enter that trade, picking up targets 3 and 4 and a roughly target 2 trailer. And let's go forward and see where we are. Okay, that's where we are currently on the micro crude. That's in a long. We are about a little over 5 minutes from 10 a.m. crude mini session. While we're here, let's take a look at the YM and see. Okay, volume is still very solidly on the June contract. Today is actually, I think Monday is the official rollover. Today or Monday are the official rollover. But looks like volume is solidly on the Y, still on the June contract. Last day to trade that contract, June contract, is definitely next week. And really not even any much, if any, volume to speak of. Just 3,200 contracts traded on the September contract as of today, as of this morning, versus almost right at 70,000 for the full YM. And the crude contract, we're sitting up in the 120 at 121.60 now. That short is still a valid get in sync for the 10 a.m. crude session at this point. And just a few, where are we time-wise? 2:05 to go. I didn't look at heating oil, but we'll come back to the. We got a couple of minutes. Let's take a look at heating oil and see if we have anything there. That wasn't. There is our 9:30 start. We pick up a short. And 10-second bar, so possibility that you're in that trade. It hits target 3 and a 1 tick on the trail. And then lots of time to get into the long, and that one just gives us targets 3 and 4 and a big trailer. Trails all the way up to 41.24 from an entry at 38.91. So 233 ticks at $4.20 a tick. How would you like to have been in that trade? $900 trade, 900 plus just on the trailer, and 29 ticks on the target 3. On that kind of trade, I am going to step aside, but looks like we've got another really strong up trade. This one gives us targets again. Entry at 4091 and the stop at 4224. So 133 on that one. Two nice big wins, and there's another big one. $42.57 to $44.62, another 200 plus tick trailer. A little bit now settling down. That's where we are currently. And we're in the 10 a.m. session. That is a valid long trade for the 10 a.m. session at 121.67. And should be in that trade. Money management on the micro crude. Stop comes to 121.67. And the pound Aussie taking some heat. Unfortunately, that looks like it's going to be a reaction trade. And a second full loss. Okay. micro crude coming back for a break even stop, not hitting any target, so we're looking for another trade. Is a full crude the same? No, full crude. Oh, excuse me. Got to get to current. Yep, full crude is in the long. Hit money management. Looks like it may have hit target. Target 1 at 83. Yep. So that gets target 1 and comes back and stops out for a tick. One and done on the full contract. Micro contract has another trade with just a break even. Crossover filter keeping us out of the short on the micro crude. Any questions this morning? Please do feel free. I'm running NinjaTrader this morning for those that are new to the room. Troy runs TradeStation, so you get a chance to see both major platforms. So micro crude waiting for a new trade. Unleaded being pretty active this morning, it looks like. Now in some consolidation at session highs. Where is our high on? Oh, wow. Wow, 122.72 is our session high today on crude. We're actually below the open. Heating oil and unleaded gas both up at session highs. And pound Aussie setting new session highs as well. Soybeans near its session high. YM right around the session open. 32,913. 32,702 to 33,110, so 400-point range. All right, we didn't quite get close enough to the 50 EMA to get a long trade. Exhaustion dots at 21.58, and the closest we got was just barely five ticks away from the 50 EMA, and we'd have to have been within 4 with the exhaustion dots to get a long trade. And not going to get in a set of exhaustion dots there. Yet. If we get another down bar here, we might. And that thing's getting quiet now. And while we're waiting for that, let's take a look. I want to take a look at the pound Aussie. While the 20 SMA trade is not part of the basic trade plan here, look at this move and look at it just bouncing off of the 20 SMA a couple of times in there. But if you look, the trade that we got stopped out on here, this set of exhaustion dots was close enough and would have given you a blue trade right there that went all the way up to here. Actually, stop would have been right about there. No, actually it would have been up here. Couple of ticks above that short entry. But that would have been a nice trailer. But that's what I was watching, given the pattern this morning that it had already shown a definite trend and support on the 20 SMA. So I took that 20 SMA trade in my trading this morning. That's exactly the kind of setup that 20 SMA trade is designed to catch. Whereas the short trades, we took a full stop on the first one, the second one didn't trigger, this third one also was a full stop. So. And there would have been another long setup off the 20 SMA, basically right at the stop on this one that so far would have. Now let's put those on momentarily. See, there's the trade I took. Trailing up to, there's the final trailer right there at 75.62. And now we have another one that has hit target one. And the trailer now sitting at 75.83. It looks like microcrude is not going to be cooperative this morning and give us another trade. Everybody's listening and watching, not asking any questions. Anything anybody wants to see? But you notice you have a 50 EMA trade that was successful, and then 220 SMA trades that were successful in that move. When you see that kind of a pattern, those are the trades that are likely to be successful. Looks like it's running out of steam a little bit because they're getting a little bit shorter. And there is a long trade on crude, 121.93. Targets will be 2 and 3 because target 1 is only 8 ticks. Yeah, Counterpunch does a very nice job on the MNQ. What we're finding is the Renko bars tend to be very fast and can often be difficult to get into the trades. And crude stopping out. The full crude contract did go one and done on the 10 a.m. session. I was looking at the micro. The micro crude here just hit just money management on the first trade, didn't get to target, which is why I was looking at the second trade. So we can still take a third trade on the mini session and wait for that. If you do that consistently, that's fine. A lot of times you'll see, a lot of times it doesn't give you retracements on the MNQ before you get to money management situation where you shouldn't be getting into the trade anyway. Well, let's see. Low of that bar is 75. So 73 will be the exhaustion dots. And the 50 is sitting at 66. This one, the 50 is sitting at 67. So nope, no trade coming there. Okay, 50's up to 68. If 50 gets to 69, we could get a trade there. I'm expecting not, though. Okay, we've got 7 ticks of range in that bar already, so a couple more ticks to close the bar one way or the other. We'll take the 50 at 69 to get another long yellow long trade, and that's not likely to happen at the moment. Only taking to 92 to close the bar. A lot of times we're waiting for retracements because that's what we have to do when the price spikes through the entry. But typically, when you get an entry, you try to put the order in as soon as possible. But yeah, if it goes up through it, then you put in a limit order and wait for it to come back. And if it hits money management first, you cancel the order. And a short possibility on crude at 79. Here again, targets 2 and 3, because target 1 is less than our 10 tick minimum. No triggers so far. One close above the balance line now. A second close above the balance line will cancel that trade. Okay, balance line is at 86. And we could one tick higher and we'll definitely close above. High of the bar is currently at 94. And that could close down at 80, exactly at 86. So we would stay, the trade would stay valid with a down close. One of the minor advantages of range bars is you know exactly where they're going to close once you have, or not, you don't know, but given the current setup, if it goes no higher, it's going to close at 86, which is on the balance line, and therefore would not cancel the trade. If it gets as high as 121.95, then it will not be able to close. It will definitely close above the balance line, and so that I would go ahead and cancel the order because it's going to be your second close above the balance line. It's bouncing around 21.90. There's not much going on right now. And still no resolution on that bar. Crude kind of grinding to a halt there. The range so far is 87 to 94. There's 87 again. There's 86. That's interesting. The balance line is showing at 86, but it looks like it's about 85.5. So I will be interested to see if we get this close at 86. And we just touched 86, so down close will definitely close at 86. Up close will close at 94. As you've already got the full 8-tick range in the bar, you're just waiting for the 1 tick beyond the either end to close it. And there it goes. And it did cancel, but if you did, it went down and triggered because it was showing basically a half tick below where but it came through fast enough that you probably got triggered into that if your order was resting. Correct action would be just close the order at this point because it was not valid. All right, so that's still waiting for a last trade. We've got another 30 minutes in the session, but okay, yeah, you too, Gabriel. Check on your volumes on the YM, the Russell, ES micro, in the micros of all of those, the NQ, because you're running out of days to trade the June contract, but the volume is still on June so far. And I'm going to have to head out to get ready to go to an appointment myself. So everybody have a wonderful afternoon, good trading tomorrow, and a wonderful weekend. And we'll see everybody on Monday. Troy will be in for regular Monday session. Next week's schedule should be business as usual. Troy on Monday and Wednesday, and I'll be in on Tuesday and Thursday. So we will see everybody next week. Have a wonderful weekend. They're coming. Here comes a very likely yellow trade. $121.84 for the low, so 94.96. Yeah. 92 would be the close of the bar. Set up at 94, key levels 296, which is where the stop is from that prior trade. Or no, I'm sorry, the prior trade pushed all the way up to 01, and there it is. So there is the valid third trade for the session. That's a good sized trade. $17 and 26 ticks. Okay, I missed. It was at 83. So 93 is the entry. Must have pulled back a tick before it went up. And we'll see everybody next week.